Hello, my name is Andy and I am the Village Idiot. I'm armed with a car and a GoPro and an unhealthy amount of time on my hands. I'm using that time to attempt to visit every civil parish in England. You're watching the East Riding of Yorkshire series. Together with the unparished city of Hull, it forms the county of the same name. There's 172 parishes here. Which one are we in today? Welcome back to the East Riding of Yorkshire, everybody, and to the East Yorkshire coast. For the first time in a while, we're seeing the North Sea here. Here we go. Have a look at that. Doesn't this look refreshing? Early in the morning. It's about 8 o'clock currently. Nice, peaceful, calm sea. I can see one person with his dog down there on the beach. Isn't it beautiful? It's absolutely fantastic. And this part of the North Sea, you can see from this caravan park right here. There's a caravan park. There we go. That caravan park is called Atwick Cliff Top because we're in the parish of Atwick. Here's my disclaimer for people who may be watching me for the first time. I say things as I would in my native accent and dialect. As a result, I may not pronounce things in the same way as the locals do. Remember, I'm a visitor. It's impossible to know everything. Leave me a comment, spin me a like and bash that subscribe button. Let's get to today's parish video. Welcome to a village that sounds like a place that we all keep our Christmas trees. Atwick. Despite being spelt At Wick, it's pronounced in exactly the same way as the room in your house. It's a coastal village lying less than a mile away from the North Sea at Atwick Cliff. The parish is formed by both Atwick village and by Skirlington, a small hamlet further north along the coast. The coastline here is an ever-changing beast. Atwick is another place that's seen cliff collapses in the past, and the soft boulder clay on the edge of the sea continues to erode away. Atwick's coastline was heavily defended during World War II. There are several defences constructed both in and around the village, and they include a heavy anti-aircraft battery and several lozenge-shaped pillboxes. Nowadays, you're more likely to find caravans. Atwick is a popular destination for holidaymakers thanks to Atwick Clifftop Caravan Park and also the massive Skirlington Leisure Park, which includes a popular market. The village's landmarks include an old school, which is now a village hall, a medieval cross, a pub called the Black Horse, and a 19th century red brick church. According to legend, a spring near the church was once the home of a hobgoblin known as the Halliwell Bogle, and Atwick is supposedly haunted by a headless horseman as well. I can confirm neither of those things were seen on this route. We begin on Atwick Cliff Top, right on the North Sea coast, although years ago the coast would have been a bit further away. Like we discussed back in Hometon, coastal erosion has shaped the East Riding's modern coastline. The cliffs here have collapsed into the sea over the years, and there are no sea defences. It means life at Clifftop Caravan Park is very much on the edge. This is owned by the Skirlington Leisure Group, who own various sites in the area. Let's drive into the main village now, away from the cliff edge. This is Cliff Road. Most of this part of the village only came into existence in the early 20th century. Atwick was originally a cluster based around its central village green. The village was extended by the building on the cliffs of a dozen bungalows and chalets. A caravan site first appeared on the cliff in 1945, and by 1992 it had some 30 static caravans. There were also two smaller sites nearer to the village. Okay, so it's a fairly simple route around this place. It's a nice circular route. We're beginning on Cliff Road outside the former Primitive Methodist Chapel. My camera's a bit wonky. I'll straighten it up there. 1856, that is dated. And behind the camera is Atwick Hall, and that's our first major landmark. This is Atwick Hall, a grand 19th century building which dominates the end of Cliff Road. Although termed a hall, it was built as a farmhouse originally. Speaking of halls, over the road is the village hall. This used to be the village school, which closed in 1960. It was later converted into the village hall. On the wall outside there's a parish notice board, and that's Atwick in the books, 111 down in the East Riding. Our next landmark gives us a really good idea of how fast the cliffs are eroding here. It's the shaft of a medieval cross which stands on a small triangle of grass. In the past, this has been used as a position marker. In 1786 it was roughly 865 metres from the sea. By 1891 it was less than 750. Now 130 years later it's about 640. Who knows how long before it'll be in the water. Hopefully by that time, Atwick will have some defences or things will have been moved. You definitely don't have to go very far to find all the good stuff in this place. It all seems to be centred on this village green. Also on the village green is where you can catch a bus. You can catch the 1:30. Here we are, the 1:30 to Bridlington bus station one way and to Hornsea Cliff Road the other. And it's right next to the phone box. And also, overlooking all of this, is the pub, and it's right there, the Black Horse. Atwick used to have a few licensed alehouses. In the 18th century there were known to have been at least 3. The current pub, the Black Horse, was given its name in 1822. It's a traditional country pub offering a bar and a separate restaurant. It often goes by the nickname of the pub on the village green. Makes sense. Our next task is to walk behind it and onto Bewholme Road. Much like Cliff Road, Bewholme Road was once a barren nothingness until 4 council houses were constructed on it sometime in the late 1930s. Even today, there are gaps along here, as you can see, where the village's other east to west street is visible. Atwick's layout was determined primarily by a stream which rises close to the sea and flows through the village. Bewholme Road forms part of 2 back lanes which extended from the main street, crossing the centre of the parish. This road was also the site of an ancient well. Named Holy Well, it's now a much bigger water feature. And just as you're about to leave civilization, you come to another pond. You may have seen one earlier, a little glimpse of one on the right hand side as I drove in from the cliff, but there's another one here just as you exit Atwick towards Bewholme, which is an episode coming up very soon. I'll be there later today, but you won't see it for a couple of weeks. Okay, now we're going to go up this road next, which is another typical East Riding country lane. Sort of goes downhill slightly and then bends round to the right, and in a second, if I just keep the camera rolling, you'll see Atwick's church. There it is, standing tall over the village. That's what we're heading for. You may have already guessed given the brick construction, but Atwick's church is a very modern affair. Dedicated to St Lawrence, it was rebuilt in the 19th century. It replaced an earlier building dating from 1295, which was at first dedicated to St Peter. The modern dedication to St Lawrence, though, was in use by 1461. Before that 19th century rebuild, the church consisted of a chancel, a nave, a south porch and a west tower. The tower was rebuilt in brick in 1829, and other parts of the building then followed suit. It was then completely rebuilt in 1876 to designs by Hugh Romeo Gough of London. It's now a distinctive bright red brick building, 13th century in style, and it has an urban character. Some parts of the old church are said to still exist, like for example the Gothic windows at number 27 Westgate in Hornsea, also known as Grebe House. As we leave the churchyard, on the left there's another campsite, this time Churchview Campsite and Holiday Let. So even though a lot of people these days go abroad for holidays, the English coast still does have that appeal about it, doesn't it? So you're always going to find these little campsites and caravan sites and places to stay close to the coast, no matter where on the coast you are. We've seen it in quite a lot of places now, haven't we? And we're probably going to see it a lot more when the sea makes an appearance. Okay, for the rest of Atwick, we're just going to walk down this road now, and this will take us effectively into the village centre again, to the cross and the green, and that'll be the circuit complete. The walk back down Church Lane is generally of a residential nature. There's a couple of minor landmarks, like this bench for example, which commemorates Atwick's achievement of being the best kept village in 1996 according to Yorkshire and Humberside in Bloom. It was also a finalist in 1997. After passing Calum Villas, you're then outside Church Close. I couldn't help but notice how decorative Atwick's street signs are, by the way. I wonder why they look like this as opposed to the normal East Riding style that we're used to. Whatever the reason, I think they add some character to the village. After passing the back of the village green again, we're up onto North Road to finish. This was one of Atwick's original side lanes, and as such it's one of the oldest areas of the village. Even so, it hasn't escaped some new development, and now, like the rest of Atwick, it's a nice mix of the old and the new. It's a desirable place to live, all things considered. I mean, who wouldn't want the sea right on their doorstep? For the special section today, we're talking about the Atwick SSE installation, which lies between the village and Skirlington. It's a gas storage facility and consists of 9 caverns with the capacity to store around 325 million cubic metres of gas. The facility first entered commercial operation in 1979 and was purchased by SSE in 2002. It's one half of a pair. The second site is at Aldborough, which is further south along the coast towards Hornsea. Together, the two sites hold around 40% of the UK's conventional underground gas storage capacity. The Atwick site is wholly owned by SSE Thermal, whilst Aldborough is operated as a joint venture with Equinor. Both SSE and Equinor also have a hand in the Dogger Bank offshore wind farm, currently under construction in the North Sea. When it's complete, its 3 phases combined will see it hold the title of the largest offshore wind farm in the world, powering 6 million homes annually. Lastly, we're heading into the hamlet of Skirlington, although there isn't really a village here. It's situated about 1 mile north of Atwick and consisted historically of 2 farms, known as High and Low Skirlington. Now, Skirlington is known more for its retail opportunity. Here there's a popular market open every Sunday all year round. It also opens on bank holiday Mondays and on Wednesdays too during July and August. It has over 300 stalls and there's parking for some 2,000 cars. Primarily though, Skirlington is a caravan site and leisure park. Skirlington Leisure Park is the main venue within the Skirlington Leisure Group, who operate a total of 6 sites around the country. Designed over 50 years ago, the park has become a popular choice for holidaymakers, many of whom return every year. It has plenty of on-site facilities, including this building, the Tow Bar, which is a bar and a social club. It's cleverly named too, given it's on a caravan park. And that's been Atwick, folks, and isn't it just one of the best little villages ever? I reckon so. It's another to put with the East Riding's impressive collection. Next week we'll be exploring a village which has much more history. It's where the Lords of Holderness based themselves centuries ago. I'll see you there in 7. Thanks for watching this video, folks. Don't forget to like this episode if you haven't already. It really makes a difference with YouTube. If you're new here, subscribe to the channel for more videos like this, and give us a share too if you've got friends who'd like it. You can find all the links to my social media accounts below, as well as my Buy Me a Coffee page where you can donate to the channel. Also, if you've enjoyed this episode, have a look at some more videos in this series. Until next time, I've been Andy, also known as the Village Idiot, and I'm out.